So, doing a better job of making 15.5 minute videos instead of 20 to 30 plus. So, talking about the free clinic of Pickaway County, just gonna go ahead and turn over these. That was 12/20, so go ahead and look at the dates as we go through. Basically, to continue what I was talking about, this doctor, like, didn't think I had vasovagal just off the top, like, from his own opinion without sending me for any testing to prove that I had a misdiagnosis of vasovagal by a specialist. He decided I had generalized anxiety, and he just kept. I kept going in complaining about anxiety, but I wasn't educated on the fact that clonazepam and other, like the benzodiazepine I was on, along of course with all the other benzodiazepines, have long-term use effects to where they actually increase your anxiety the longer you're on them, and they start deadening the GABA receptors in your brain, which your brain naturally creates GABA to relax your nervous system, and then of course the benzos take over that process, so your brain stops doing the process itself, and then I could go on and on about long-term effects. So like he just assumed that like, some people are like hopeless and just end up needing to be on benzo medication for the rest of their life, because unfortunately there might not be any better alternative that a doctor is aware of. So he thought I was likely one of those people, and it took him like a year to come to that conclusion. So 11/22, 10/25, 9/27, 8/30, 8/16. Must have been a bad day. Coming back 4 days later. 9/26, 6/28, 5/31. So obviously I was going here. So he was basically just give me refill after refill after refill and just keep me on this darn medication. Of course, I personally assumed that since I was continuing to have anxiety, that I kept needing it. And I was aware of the fact that benzos were meant for short term, and the longer you took them, that you would have long-term effects. I just didn't know that was like as far as I knew about that. So all the way back to April, and this one jumps back to later 2011. So more records, a little out of order. This was a this was just a doctor's note for 4 hours of work. Trying to see what the date was. Just 8/16/2011. Yeah, it was that was during the brief 2 months I had my unsuccessful job attempt at McDonald's, where I had to leave because of the same old reason, where I started almost passing out on the job all the time, like fainting on the job, not falling asleep. 8/23, 6/38. I can already see it. Yeah, those were 2011. This one jumps all the way back to late 2010. when I started going to him. It said triage form, so well, so does this, I guess. Late 2010 is when I first started going there, though. But about the fact that the doctor, I mean, he's just a family doctor, he's not a psychiatrist, but you think that he would be educated about long-term effects of benzos, so you think he would have noticed how long I was on them. And I even brought this up during some visits, that asking him, have I been on these too long enough now that I need to start thinking about tapering off? So I didn't know the specific details about long-term side effects or withdrawing, or like when you should withdraw, which is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks after taking them. And here I was, 10/25/2011. It had been a little over a year, just on this particular date that I was on this stuff, and my dosage, had been increased. I started off on 1 milligram a day, and then I had built up to like regularly being on 2.5 a day, and then I was briefly on 3 milligrams a day, and then that's when I realized that I was having the long-term effects to where the medication was becoming ineffective, because such a high dose was it didn't even help my anxiety attack at all, and it actually slowed down my breathing so much that I literally almost stopped breathing. Could have died this one particular night. It was actually after I moved in here. Speaking of moving in here, on a side note, I think it's funny, like 4 of my last phone calls with my old best friend Chris Shirey. The reason I say old best friend is because he lived in Germany for a good while, and then now he lives in Philadelphia. So we don't, other than a couple phone calls recently, we didn't keep in contact for the longest time. So I didn't consider him or anybody like my best friend for a good while. I still don't have a close thing to my best friend right now is my mom, who takes me to a lot of these darn doctor visits. And it pays has to pay my student loan and all that. All right, back to the forms. As you can see, I was still going there up until early 2010. This was right before I finally got approved for Medicaid. Even though this doctor, I feel bad that Dr. Holton didn't recognize that he should have started trying to switch me over to the taper med-diazepam and getting off of benzos to reduce my anxiety, and then if I still had anxiety, to look at other alternatives. He was still the guy that ultimately helped me, gave me the referral to say on paper that he considered me disabled, so I got approved for Medicaid. So that's good to know. That reminds me, I really need to try and get in touch with his offices, because here in a couple months, my lawyer office will be sending out medical statements for doctors to fill out, and if he already claimed that I was disabled to get Medicaid, he'll be one of my best bets to tell Social Security about the reality that I have been going through disability. So I had a boatload of visits with them. And with the free clinic, Pickaway County, I was seeing him, Dr. Holden, before I went to Las Vegas, and then afterwards. And I had to get a regular family doctor because since they were a free clinic, they didn't accept. Their job was to take people that didn't have any insurance coverage and that hadn't gotten approved for Medicaid yet. So I ended up having to switch to Dr. Ward out in Orient. I want to switch to someone local though, so stop having to get a ride all the way out up further north to Orient. He's I'm sure Dr. Ward's great at what he's educated in, but he's has shown that he's doesn't know, isn't a specialist in benzos either. Yeah, I was one that had to show him that you're supposed to switch patients over to the diazepam medication. It was the only recommended benzo to switch over to because of its long lifespan and smooth blood flow concentrations, and the fact that it comes in small enough tablets to where you can break it down small enough to taper down to slowly and it's in small increments. Oh, this is another paper from back on the 22nd of 2010, 2 days after my first near faint episode. And this should be the EKG. They because of my EKG, I have no idea how to read these, but something popped up that was part of the reason that Dr. Falcone, the cardiologist, wanted to give me a heart catheter. I just had like an unexplained irregular heartbeat for a 24-year-old. Alright, got about 2 minutes. Alright, I wonder if this is from Burger. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Probably is. Yeah, no, late 2010. August. Yep. Yeah, it has to be from Burger Hospital. Just another random paper. I imagine I have the same copy of that in there, but I have no idea how I got a hold of freaking blood lab test results. They usually don't give you that when they discharge you from emergency room, or even overnight stay. I don't. Maybe they did. All right, I'm going. This is Mid-Ohio Cardiology and Vascular, my current cardiologist. So next video I'll get to these.